Hello and welcome to Neverwinter Nights 2, and this will be part 70. In the previous part we entered the basement of Crossroad Keep and interrupted our good friend like Garius. It didn't go so well that he was interrupted, but we were told by the mage leader that we should go and inform Lord Nasher. Which I suppose is a good idea, but I wanted to loot first. Off recording, I have sorted out the loot, and I know one of the items was found earlier, but
Yes.
Casimir got some gargoyle boots, which gives a dodge modifier and 7 to a fortitude. It technically doesn't need it, but because it's a dodge modifier that stacks, deflection it doesn't. So it gives him some more armor class. My character is already wearing Nasher's nimble boots, which is dexterity. So we also got this cloak, which I think is an old cloak we found. But yeah.
Listening, really.
Sand got a handful of spells. I will see if he can describe them at a later point, and then I will go through his spell book at one point.
Oh, yes.
He stopped moaning. Oops, I forgot to hand over one item. He stopped moaning because he wasn't carrying any heavy stuff anymore, which is always good. See, I see. Nope, it's an empty bag. Fine. And of course,
I think it is time everyone marched behind me, your new glorious leader.
Good on you, Sam. I gave Sam the lizard bag I had on the main character to store all the crafting crap in, which I may or may not make use of. We will find out.
Indeed.
Anyway. Of course, we have to speak to that NPC in order to get back to Lord Nasher. Right? Right. See, we have a little problem because they all they all tell me to speak to Vale. Vale is there, and he's dead. I'm fairly sure he wasn't dead when we left him. This is a bit of an issue for a lot of character classes, because of course if you don't have any scrolls available, or you're not playing a cleric oriented class, you are basically forced to cheat in this situation, because you can't leave this area without speaking to him. That's rather unfortunate. What is unfortunate is the fact that we have resurrection. I have actually been in this situation with the game before, where I basically had to enter the cheat mode, open the console and spawn in NPCs because they either vanished or died or something. So thankfully we could resurrect them. Ready to go? Yes, let's go. Svan gets some men down here to hold his Luskin fills out of the keep. Should we bury them, sir? Don't bother, just pile them up and burn them. And see if we can get the glowing door upstairs open as well. Don't want to leave any surprises for the next tenant.
Forgive me, Master Aldenon. I'm afraid I do not understand.
Very well. Let us set aside the broader metaphor of the stone and narrow our attention to the fact that it has been cleft in two, which, while not a fact, is a smaller metaphor than the first. You see, at first glance, the two halves both appear as separate stones, but they were both once one stone, yet not. Do you follow?
Ah, welcome. I was just speaking with Master Aldenon concerning one of the prisoners you recovered from Garius. A woman, but not of Neverwinter or Luskan, or even perhaps this plane of existence. The prisoner has asked for you, personally. I was hoping you might be able to help us out concerning her identity, or her intentions. Aldenon has a theory, but I'm afraid...
If you both would simply listen. The comparison to a rock, a big rock, is a simple one, almost perfect. This prisoner you have, it seems that she is of the same stone as the Githyanki, but yet she is not. You see, both were once one people. At one time, even though time is a very difficult thing to measure depending on the plane. And that's not counting time in the astral plane or on...
Forgive me, Aldenon. Is this prisoner a threat or not?
Oh, I don't know that. I do know that the Gitzerai and the Githyanki have been in a state of war for millennia. It is common knowledge.
Of course, an oversight on my part.
So, I should think if your young lieutenant here, well met again, by the way, you seem to be everywhere, is hunted by the Githyanki, then the Gitzerai and this Gitzerai prisoner would be allies by default. But I could be mistaken. I suppose we could see if she tries to kill any of us. But that test has numerous procedural flaws in its execution, if you will pardon the semantics. She seemed reasonable enough when we spoke together in Crossroad Keep, but there was a foot of stone between us, which is notoriously hard for a blade to cut through to kill someone on the other side. And speaking of Crossroad Keep, I am rather anxious to return there, so if you would both excuse me, I will set out there at once to see if we can dig anything out of the library there. Good day, and I hope the prisoner doesn't attempt to kill you. She didn't seem the type, but you know how assassins are.
Despite the advice of Master Aldenon, I think it would be best if you simply spoke to the prisoner and let this matter sort itself out, without further speculation.
I felt your presence before my eyes fell upon you, Kalakcha. Step forward. Let me look upon you.
So, a good chunk of this part is going to be exposition. I was trying to make some funny comment, but failed. There's going to be an awful lot of exposition. I'm just saying. So, they said you asked for me by name.
Your name? Your name is not how I know you. Know this name our enemies have draped upon you. This Kalakcha. Its sound travels far, even reaching the ears of my people. At first, my people thought our enemies had erred, that they did not know that of which they speak. But here, now, as you stand in my presence, I see the truth. I did not think it possible, but the key by which you may know yourself lies within you. I know much of the problems that beset your people and mine. The reason behind these attacks upon your heart and home. You will have no greater ally in this than I. In exchange for my aid, it is my will I be freed, so that I might travel with you and aid you against these enemies.
Why do you wish to travel with me?
This cell is abhorrent to me. It is a shackle of stone encasing me. It causes memories of the ways of the Illithids to surface in my mind. I have borne this indignity because I knew that it would bring you to me, and a greater truth will be known.
So, in exchange for what you know, you only asked to travel with me.
I heard you were here. You fought bravely, and we took them almost completely by surprise. You are to be commended, both for your efforts and the lives spared this day. Had you not been there, we would have many less brave men standing with us today, along with what may be the key to taking this battle to our enemies.
In freeing me, know you have gained more than you ever would have torn from the lips and thoughts of our enemies.
Then speak. Aldenon does not think you are allied with these enemies, these Githyanki, and his word carries weight with me, fortunately for you.
Then know the trade between us is this. Release me from this prison. Let my path become that of the Kalakcha. In return, I will grant you the knowing of this threat, and all the darkness its shadow casts.
We promise an honest hearing, and if your tale rings true, we will grant your freedom.
Then listen to me, and know this threat for what it is. But we cannot do it here, in this prison, where my words echo and the shadows fall thick around us.
And why should we allow your freedom until we hear what you have to say?
Because if you deny me that, then anything I can do to aid you will prove useless. I seek to know this plane, this world that I am to help you save, and to speak honestly to it, so that it might hear what strikes at its heart. And that means that I must see your lands, what you would spill blood for, and what you have spilled blood for.
Then I know of just the place where you can see what we fight for. Make your way back to Crossroad Keep as soon as you're able. I shall meet you there.
Ah, cool. Meet, whatever she's called. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing it. Hopefully someone else will pronounce it for me so I can get an idea of her name. Because I don't want to mess it up. She wants to join us, which is fine. Because of that, I will have to sit out. I will still take Casimir and I will take Sand. For the moment, at least. So we are in the merchant's quarter. Which is cool, I suppose. May want to vendor rubbish before we set. Nah, we can do that after. There's still quite a bit more exposition to come, so this is likely going to be a very, very lore heavy, story heavy, thingy heavy episode. So, Crossroad Keep. It's a very difficult word to say, man. Cool, we are now at Crossroad Keep. So, I suppose we have to run over to the courtyard. I wonder why Sir Naval invited us to come back to this wreck. It looks rather trashed now, doesn't it? Yep. It doesn't look in a particularly good state.
It's seen better days, and will again. This keep was destroyed during the war with the King of Shadows. It was a dark time for Neverwinter, but we persevered, as you have this day.
It looks like Crossroad Keep is being rebuilt.
I have brought you back here under orders, for Lord Nasher has a new task for you, and perhaps our guest can see what it is you'll be fighting for in the coming days. These people you see around you, they are now yours to command as you see fit. You are their captain in Neverwinter's service. Make this keep ready for war. Gather troops to your banner, and be prepared to strike when this enemy reveals itself. To help you manage the keep, Lord Nasher has assigned you an officer, Kana, and Master Vidal has been contracted to help you rebuild the keep and the surrounding area. You are the master of this keep now. You have earned it through service and blood. And you have earned my trust, and that of Lord Nasher. This is your land. Defend it, for the sake of your people and the sake of Neverwinter.
Look, even now shadows fall upon this plain, yet still its beauty persists. It is not surprising to me that our enemies wish to mar this place with their blades and their war.
I just want to interject something. That sequence just before reminded me of two Danish comedians who were known for being quite rude, not borderline, they were vulgar at times, but they were vulgar in a funny way. And one of the sketches, whatever people called them, they did was this guy phoning in for a radio quiz where he could win various things, and There was one specific sequence of that sketch which I was reminded of by this, and I will try to make it as amusing as I can, which is not likely to be much, but bear with me. Congratulations, adventurer! You have won a keep. I don't want any keep. It is too late, adventurer. The deed is already signed. The depth has been transferred to your name. Loosely translated. I found it rather amusing, at least. It doesn't say much. Anyway, I need to know what you know about this threat.
Know this. The first glimpses of this conflict you have seen are not the first. They are but glimpses of things that travel well into the past and the present. It is all part of a greater war. A war almost as great as the one that split my people on the Sword of Gith long ago. And the tragedy is tied to such a blade. These shadows you see. There is a lord who dwells in darkness with them. And he has fought on this plane before against those who have embraced Gith's hatred. The Githyanki. This lord and the Githyanki, it is difficult to know the true hatred between them. He attacked them long ago, attempted to cast his shadows upon their fortresses in the plains beyond. The fighting was terrible, fierce, and it was only through the deaths of thousands of Githyanki that this king of shadows was driven back. But no matter how many countless thousands of their people they lost, they were only capable of severing the portal through which he could attack them. And so, the Githyanki were denied a victory and forestalled their war for a time. But know that the Githyanki do not forget their enemies. And though the King of Shadows had been driven back, still they sought a way to reach him, to kill him. And as terrible as knowing the followers of Gith hunt for you, even more dangerous is this lord, this King of Shadows.
Where is this King of Shadows, and how do we stop him?
Know that I will aid you if I can, but it may already be too late. The King of Shadows was not always tied to darkness, and that is part of the tragedy. His will was once devoted to an ancient empire, to the protection of its people. He was once the light of Ilfarn, empowered with the strength to protect them from their enemies, and he was bound to the natural magics of the plane, the weave. But as much as a ritual created the guardian that was to be Shadow, there is a ritual that will unmake him. It is a ritual of purification, designed to allow him peace when his days of sacrifice are done and the Empire needs him no longer. If the ritual does exist, it lies within the ruined Ilfarn city of Arvan. It is there you must go to purify yourself and gain the strength for the battle ahead. I have marked the location upon your map.
If that is what it takes, that is what I must do.
Know that this path is a dangerous one. Even the people of Ilfarn, as powerful as they were unable to defeat the King of Shadows. But know that this ritual of purification and the blade of our enemies are the only chance of success in this.
But what if I accidentally let him loose?
He can already make his presence felt beyond his chains. The advantage is his. If you cannot strike at an enemy, know your battle is already lost. You doubt me, and that is because you do not know me. You need allies, Kalakcha, not more enemies and doubt to divide you. For in dividing the mind, you divide the battlefield and you cut your strength in half. I am a Zerth, and I swear upon the circle of Zerthamon that what I speak to you I know to be true. And know that your life is as precious to me as it is for the followers of Gith to end it. And this king, know that he threatens us all. This title of Kalakcha, do you know it? You wear that title because the name knows you, even if you do not know it yourself. But let me speak my thought plainly, without circles of meaning. They call you the Shard-Bearer, this Kalakcha, because you carry a piece of Gith's blade within you, near the heart. and you have always borne it close to you. It was once said that Gith's blade, once drawn, would never find a scabbard again. And now it is sheathed within you. It sings. And they can hear it as I hear it, whispering all the hate of Gith and the war she sought to bring to the plains. A war that would have ended us all if Zerthamon had not met her blade with his at the pronouncement of two skies.
What must I do?
Know that you are the only one who can reforge Gith's blade and use it once more in a battle. A battle that will free your lands and people from an evil even greater than the evil the Illithid sought to bring upon my people. There is no other. And if the title of Kalak-Cha displeases you, then know that you must make another title, and perhaps your name shall be the battle cry by which this ancient enemy, this King of Shadows, will be defeated.
So you will travel with me?
I make this pronouncement to you, greater than the bond of two deaths as one, with a strength that echoes the pronouncement of two skies. I make the pronouncement of three in darkness, two in light. As the two of us shall meet this king in his fortress, it shall become a battle of three. And when it is over, the two of us shall walk in the light, and you will taste true freedom, just as Gith and Zerthamon did when they broke the will of the Illithid at Sagrasa's end. It is my life I am giving you, Kalak-Cha, and I ask that you let me share your path with you.
I thank you, whatever you are called, and I welcome your help.
Then we shall speak no more of it, now that my vow is spoken. Now we must travel to the ruins of the culture of Ilfarn, and there undergo the rituals you will need to arm your spirit against the King of Shadows.
Do you know how to reach them?
I have marked the location of the city on your map. There we shall find what we seek and complete the ritual of purification.
That's all good and fine. What we need to do... you know what, that's just because I haven't got much time left for this episode, unfortunately. If we just walk around a bit, we can see that the keep is in a horrible state, and we've been given the quite glorious task of trying to restore it. And that costs an awful lot of money, which will be evident soon. We can speak to two NPCs specifically. There's one building though that is up and running, surprise surprise, which would be, if I can find it, ruined smithy, ruined church. Because of keep material, wheel. The inn, of course. I mean, obviously they want to make sure that they could get a beer too. So we can go in there and say hi, just for a quick moment, because I'm basically stalling for time for this episode. Oh, we loaded up. I will have to sort that in the next part. See who's behind the... Oh, it's you, Captain, right? It's Sal from the Sunken Flagon. Well, formerly of the Flagon. I've been wiping tables for your uncle for years with always the promise of starting my own inn. It always seemed to be just words until you came along. Once I'd heard what you were doing here, I packed my bags, wrote a note, and here I am. Why start an inn here? Keep's got everything going for it. It's right on the high road, it's got plenty of merchants, caravans, and it's got, well, you, too. Yeah, I know, she's a young, charming lady. I figure I can turn this into a respectable inn. Clean with entertainment, oh, and good food. I mentioned I'm a cook, right? Don't you need a permission or something? You're the boss. Well, the real boss is Lord Nasher, and his agent already approved everything. You'll get plenty out of this. Open customers, provide a place for the merchants to drink and eat, and spend a little money. Look, trust me, you need an inn, and that means an innkeeper. Me. And drinks will always be on the house, Captain. How's business? We got business, not a lot with these people, but there are people dropping by. Things could be better. I've been talking with this master bard who's willing to send an apprentice to perform here. But he wants the place to be livelier, someone to dance to his music, he says. So if you can spot anyone that will want to work here, grab them. That's a bit excessive, isn't it? What about offering them an opportunity to work in a fancy, completely and utterly demolished keep? I'm going to end this part here. When we come back, I'm going to go through what I meant to go through now, but I would rather speak to Sal. And level up, and then, as I said, go through the process of this keep, because it is a game mechanic unto itself, which of course is part of the main game, but also in a bizarre way not. As for now, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.